Nice quick walls from Nicov. Here comes the Knights. Hello everyone and welcome to this matchup in the Doubles Age tournament. This is the first time I have casted this tournament. This is going to be between Vietnam, comprising of BacT and ACCM. Down in the bottom left, we have BacT in his favorite color, orange, playing as the Franks, and I'm so glad... Oh no, my bad. This is ACCM in the yellow. I got him confused for Say My Name, whose name is also yellow. I was about to say I was so glad that yellow chose yellow, but no, this is ACCM, another Vietnamese team. In green, we have MBL playing as the Britons. I didn't introduce the Vietnamese team, but we'll get to it. And Nicov playing as the Huns. I love to see the Britons. That is interesting to me. In orange, we have BacT as the Franks, and yellow, ACCM Ethiopians. Interesting civilizations. Franks is pretty expected with the meta nowadays, and so is Huns. But the British, that's got to be fun. Unique playstyle there. And then the Ethiopians in the top as well. We'll have some archer civilizations in the north and some scout and knight civilizations in the south. Great matchup. So this is a best of 5. First game is going to be Arabia. Second and third game, I think, might be home map losers or something like that. And the home maps that are chosen are Caribbean islands. So water maps, I believe, for the Vietnamese team. And then the two maps are Mongolia and Sahara for AM. And talking about these players, this is going to be a very good matchup. As I was saying before, ooh, BacT's got to be careful with this villager. Just one more hit and he'll go down. Looks like he'll get in safely. So about these teams, these are really top teams. These are great teams. Both these Vietnamese players are, of course, competing in ECL and doing fairly okay. Level of competition is super high. Just as I say that, BacT is actually stealing a boar. I'm glad he came into the screen because I would not have seen it. There's a boar steal for BacT. Still having a lot of HP on his Frankish scout. That is nice. Stealing from Nicov. I wish he stole it from MBL because that would be a little bit of karma. MBL, of course, known as the boar stealer. But these Vietnamese players are super strong. BacT, of course, once a tyrant. Don't kill that sheep, please. ACCM is in all the top level tournaments. Usually doesn't get too far because the level of competition is so high, but he's always in them for a good reason. He's a top level player. You guys might be familiar a little bit more with MBL, usually in top 3 of all the 1 versus 1 events the last few years. Nicov is always up there too, his AM teammate. I'm not sure if BacT and ACCM got their TeamSpeak working. They were having trouble with it earlier. We'll see if we have any in-game chat from them. Yeah, I like the game music too. Hopefully it's not too loud or too soft. I like to have it just a little bit in the background. I think it creates a relaxing atmosphere. So I don't have to be talking the whole time. Let's take a look at the civilization and the maps. And I'll keep an eye out if we see any barracks, any early pressure. Looks like we'll have a barracks from MBL. Let's start with him. So he's playing as the Britons. It's very standard to go for a Dark Age or a Men-at-Arms rush with a civilization like the Britons, an Archer-reliant civilization. Has the gold in the back, so that's where the mining camp will go. We'll probably see some walls like that, and MBL's not too bad of a map. We'll wall here probably. And it's okay. This version of Arabia is fairly open, but you can wall some areas. And MBL is up with a very early barrack, so it looks like he'll do a Dark Age rush instead of a Men-at-Arms rush. I think the Dark Age rush is more common in team games than it is in 1 versus 1 situations. ACCM, on the other hand, is going to go for a Men-at-Arms rush because his barracks is much later. We'll click up to Feudal Age. He's playing as the Ethiopians, so he'll get 100 food, 100 gold extra, which helps to boost that kind of rush. And we'll go into Archers, so we'll see an Archer battle on the top. Unless MBL decides to do a fast castle, he's walling a lot early, so it could be on the cards. Nicov on the bottom, already up to the Feudal Age. BacT's already up to the Feudal Age. We'll see scouts from these players. The Frankish scouts, of course, more HP. The Hun stables, however, work faster, and of course the Huns get bloodlines. The deer coming in for Nicov. He needs to supplement his food eco because he lost a boar. So scouts, archers, militias. Later on, we'll see knights, I'm sure. Probably not too many cavalry archers from the Huns play. So MBL walking around, ACCM has seen what has been going on from MBL, has seen the Dark Age Rush, which is why he's got the small walls. 1 village on gold is great with Ethiopians, so you don't need more because you get the 100 gold when you get up to the next age. ACCM is building some militia and defense, which is a great move. And so far, MBL doing a little bit of damage. We have 2 idle villagers from ACCM. He wants to get those working right away. Got 1 working. I think he forgot about that one. So this Dark Age Rush, paying for itself a little bit. This guy is not working at all. And MBL will go for some archer ranges off the back of this. Straight archers is good against fast castle. It really depends on the execution. I would not say that statement. Straight archers is good against fast castle. It really depends on the execution. You want to pressure your opponent either way. And the reason I wouldn't say that is because ACCM needs these militia to be able to fend off the militia of MBL. And if he can do that, then he could use those militia in aggression. Then he could get the archer ranges up safely and have a nicer transition. So I think in general for archer civilizations, the standard strategy is going to be men-at-arms. Sometimes you do a Dark Age Rush. Rarely you go straight archers. So second archer range coming up from MBL. No archers quite yet. So MBL needs to get his production going. Meanwhile, in the south, we have 3 scouts moving out from BacT. Nicov has a spearman in defense. Now, these scouts for BacT are very deadly. They have 54 HP, being Frankish scouts. Where are Nicov scouts? That's my question. Nicov is a little bit slower. I guess he was a little bit slower up to the next stage. A lot of farms for Nicov. So for now, Nicov will be defending. Since he was a little bit further behind, he'll catch up because he's got the Huns stable. But for now, he has to defend. Hopefully one of these villagers isn't weak or out of position. Down in the bottom, men-at-arms moving around. MBL knows exactly where his weak spot is and will place archers there. And MBL's almost got his map walled up. It's not the prettiest walls in the world. I would like to see the edge of the map there. Certainly these walls take a lot of resources, but walling is always something that's very beneficial for your gameplay. I find it interesting, these archery range positions. They have not contributed to the wall. I wonder why MBL has built them so far behind. It's a problem that his gold is actually not protected. BacT's going to come in, and now this could be a deadly force. Let's see who's going to win this. One of these scouts is weak. MBL is going to commit with 3 villagers. I don't know if this is worth it. He could lose some villagers here. There's this villager over here as well. 1 archer going down, 1 scout going down, now a villager going down. That's so far a pretty good raid. Let's see if we can kill a second, certainly. Second villager going down, that's some pretty good damage, even if these men-at-arms are lost. So great teamwork from BacT and ACCM. We mentioned at the beginning they had trouble with TeamSpeak. So far their teamwork has been great. And look at how many scouts for BacT. Where are all the scouts of Nicov? We have 4 in the back. But I'm looking at 6 scouts for BacT even though he lost 1. So more scouts for BacT. 1 villager's going to go down. If Nicov can get a second, then that'll even up the villagers this game. And actually, it does look like it's like maybe a little bit of idle time for MBL too, because he's 1 villager further down than he should be. Power for Nicov. So far, the Vietnamese team is definitely in the lead this game. More scouts are BacT, killing those villagers early on. And even a tower from Nicov. Bigger walls for MBL. Some small advantages for the Vietnamese team. Let's see if Nicov can kill another villager. It looks like he can. So that evens up the villagers quite a bit. I'm glad that helped you, Cold Ice Penguin. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask. I enjoy answering these kinds of questions. BacT, not using his spearmen to the best of his advantage. All the spearmen are all together. They should be positioned at strategic points. But regardless, Nicov will run away, and BacT should finish off those walls as soon as possible. MBL moving south. ACCM moving back home. ACCM is now almost fully walled. Needs to rebuild that lumber camp. And the first player to click up is Nicov. Nicov did not build a lot of scouts. Remember, he seeded a lot of farms early. Look at how many farms that Nicov has. And he built that tower. So for now, Nicov is going to go heavy into the knights. And Nicov has not done a bad job. He's gotten good use out of the scouts he made. But Nicov is looking in a pretty good position. Managed his economy well. As long as he stays safe, he should be good. What he has to worry about is an archer raid. But luckily, ACCM is all the way across the map, sitting at home with his archers. The reason I say he has to worry about an archer raid is because look at this wood line. And all these farms could be idled too, with these tiny walls. For now, it doesn't look like he'll get punished. BacT is also up to the next stage with tons of farms. There's so many farms in this game. This is more than you normally see. So we'll see a lot of knights in the Castle Age. A lot of knights. And a lot of aggression. So BacT and ACCM just forcing a reaction from MBL. Now where they should hit Nikov's base, but that's not going to happen. Nicov even having to get up a market. Going to mine a little bit of stone. Might want to buy 100 stone for a town center. So I don't expect these scouts to do too much damage. MBL should be up to the next stage shortly. Here comes those Knights of Nicov. Are they going to go aggressive or defensive? Defensive makes more sense. You want to clean up this army with your super strong knights. Nicov even going to add a monastery right away. This is very aggressive play from Nicov. Normally you want to go town centers, especially in a team game. Monastery will definitely gain you some advantages as far as the army control, map advantage. ACCM's just going to hang back for now, wait to get crossbows. So ACCM will have archers that fire faster, probably better against the knights than British crossbows, but the British crossbows will fire farther, which I think is more of a benefit against archers. So that's an interesting dynamic. We'll see how that shakes out. MBL and Nicov ready for a push. They could get through these thin palisade walls. Certainly those British archers can range the gold mine. A lot of knights streaming from Nicov. BacT, hopefully, going fully into production. Should have enough food. Should have enough gold. That's not a ton of gold miners, but it looks like it's enough. And certainly that Hun's bonus working for Nikov's favor, building knights faster. And ACCM is kicked off of gold. This is a big deal. ACCM needs gold to continue archer production. He's got 3 archer ranges. So pretty soon he'll be idle. One villager going down for ACCM. A lot of farms idled. A lot of idle economy everywhere. That's so many crossbows from MBL. BacT, is BacT going to have enough? I don't think he does. He's got really good upgrades. He still has some scouts alive too. They will definitely help. Let's see who's going to win this fight. This is such a big fight for both players. I think BacT and ACCM have the numbers, but the position is better for the AM team. And in fact, the AM team could still win this. A few more crossbows going to pop out for ACCM. Do we have any more knights coming from BacT? I see no knights coming from BacT at all, and Nicov is still pumping. Ballistics coming in from MBL. That's a great upgrade. I think with Ballistics, they can push this right back. And I do have to say, ACCM, I don't like how he's walled up his gold. They got through that palisade wall so quickly. If the archer ranges were here, if you lined up the archery ranges, that would have provided a much stronger wall and perhaps prevented that raid instead of just using the palisade. The very exciting part of this game, ACCM is moving out, and I don't think you can do that because MBL has ballistics. MBL's just going to go back to the gold. The longer that MBL idles this gold, the less crossbows ACCM will be able to make. and the less ACCM will be able to defend himself. No other big raids going on across the map. Nicov has a second town center. He's looking great. Gonna add a third stable. And there's that big raid. That's still not walled up. I think ACCM thought that was walled. Not that it would matter too much. Knight upgrades. We have a little bit better upgrades for BacT, but I'd rather have that ballistics. BacT is going to take this fight. If they lose, this is going to be a huge loss. Even more crossbows from MBL. MBL has so many crossbows. Ballistics coming in from ACCM, but it's not done yet. And MBL is going to go right back to that gold. And ACCM is falling farther and farther behind in this game. ACCM with the lowest villager count. Also with a pretty low military count. At least compared to MBL. Full Dice Penguin saying they were ahead before the Knights entering, I think. Oh, I'm not sure. I think Nicov did a really good job creating Knights. I think it was fairly even throughout the Feudal Age. Any small advantages would... They're just so small. But really good Knight play from Nicov. Great hitting the weakest spot of ACCM's map. I wish BacT made a few more Knights in that early Castle Age. BacT's going to add a third stable, but again, Nicov with the faster stables still has more production. And those Knights are going to blast through that palisade wall. Now we have idle villagers here. We have a few crossbows in the back for MBL. This is a disaster for ACCM. How is ACCM going to be able to defend himself? They need a big cleanup. If they can get a big cleanup, they're back in this game. But if not, ACCM is just so far behind. Let's see crossbows and knights on top of the hill. And who's going to win this fight? Is the hill going to be enough? I feel like they have to take this fight. They have to clean this up. Use every crossbow you have, ACCM. Looks like both players will lose all of their knights. BacT's going to come in with 3 more knights. We have the hill advantage for these British crossbows. Of course, the Ethiopians ones fire faster. And this is important. ACCM, you have to control your army. You want to move in with your army. It's not very clean, the formation. And I think ACCM can get the cleanup with his faster fire rate. Alright, so there's the cleanup, but has too much damage been done? There's another group of MBL's crossbows. Let's take a look at what kind of damage has been done. 60 villagers for ACCM, 26 military. Compared to MBL, 72 villagers, 25 military, so the military is even. But MBL is already up into the Imperial Age and has a stronger economy. So in my opinion, the damage has been done. Down at the bottom, a bit of a knife scuffle. Looks like BacT will be able to defend. But I don't know if that's a good fight. I think Nicov has more knights in that area. Nicov even going to bring in 2 spearmen. That's a terrible fight to take. I think this game is really looking in AM's favor. The Vietnamese team did very well, I think, in Feudal Age, but fell apart in that early Castle Age. So now even BacT's looking to be in a bit of trouble. In order to be able to come back, you're going to have to take some really lucky, some good engagements. Clean up the armies of AM, boom up your economy. So far, no other player up into the Imperial Age. Not looking so good for the Vietnamese team. There's that monk from earlier. Nicov collected 1 relic. Didn't do a whole lot with that monastery, to be quite honest. Look at this, 4 town centers from Nicov. Nicov already on 100 villagers. Now it's good. This is good. ACCM doing some damage. It's going to be a little bit of time before MBL comes south, but he's coming. What would be really great for these crossbows is the thumb ring upgrade to get them to fire even faster. So far this raid not doing too much damage. Here's the bracer upgrade for MBL. Once the bracer upgrade, especially, and the Arbalest upgrade is done, you're not going to be able to touch these Arbalests. How do you stop them? Just try to keep them at bay and try to raid where the Arbalests aren't. That's the best strategy. So ACCM going in. And I think you have to try to get out of here if you're BacT and ACCM, because you can't fight against the Arbalest. And you don't have enough knights to raid. A lot of arrow fire coming under the armies of the Vietnamese team. Over here we have MBL once again raiding the gold. He's got so much army he could be in 2 places at the same time. BacT's going into the Imperial Age. You want to keep these knights alive to upgrade into Cavalier. That could be a big advantage. So they're going to try to get out of there. They can't. Nice quick walls from Nicov. Here comes the knights. BacT wants to be able to upgrade these to Cavalier. Remember, ACCM's in the Imperial Age as well. Nicov is now harding. We could have seen a big turnaround, but BacT losing all of his knights to the Arbalest, getting an okay trade. ACCM still doing damage to Nicov. Is it enough to get back in this game? I don't know. ACCM's hurting once again. But this is a good choice, going into Skirmisher. Nicov does not have a lot of knights at the present time, so Skirmisher should be able to defend for now. This game is not over. BacT is going to have the Cavalier upgrade. Nicov is up to the Imperial Age, though. I'm surprised he got up, considering he wasn't taking a lot of food for a few minutes there. That's a lot of stables. Yeah, you're about to see a lot of knights. No need to make any other units. So for now, BacT should defend, get the Cavalier upgrade, try to take an engagement before Nicov gets the Cavalier upgrade himself. So ACCM able to take his gold for now. MBL actually adding a barracks. I wonder if he's thinking about Halb. Looks like he is. So that's a good option. British army is not strong, but if you can get a Halb and Arbalest combination in an early Imperial Age, that's a great combo. And going late game, I feel like the Vietnamese civilizations are better. The knights will just be stronger for the Franks. The archers will just be stronger for ACCM. Not to mention the possibility of siege. Here we go, MBL building castle forward. Gonna idle a lot of farms. Gonna provide a pushing point into the majority of BacT's base. Here's that Cavalier upgrade. I don't see the plate barding armor. It's an essential upgrade. BacT getting... Did he get it already? Oh, he already got it. That was quick. Getting iron cast... Sorry, blast furnace now. Every civilization has its strengths and weakness. Still asleep on the toilet. Quite a name you have. Nice map control from the AM team. ACCM finally securing that gold. Not a whole lot left with the castle. There is a bit of score difference, but again, this game can turn around with another big engagement. Where are the knights? Where are the knights from BacT? BacT has 26 military. I think they're all in the stables. Maybe the stables are going to pop out with some knights. Here's the Paladin upgrade. Here is the ray of hope for our Vietnamese team. If Paladin coming in while Nicov is only getting Cavalier, the difference between Paladin and Cavalier is even bigger than the difference between Cavalier and Knights. Especially if you're Franks. Alright, so to take this game, we're going to have to see a big engagement from the Paladins. Once Paladin is done, these Arbalists will be doing almost no damage versus the Paladins, especially since without that Thumb Ring upgrade. I'm waiting for a big cleanup. How many Knights do we have in these stables? We have a fair amount. We have a good amount. Enough to clean this up, depending on the positioning. However, Nicov is raiding right now, and this Paladin upgrade is not done. It is leaving the Arbalest exposed, but that's not enough. Cavalier are not strong enough. I don't think BacT's gonna have the time. Hopefully these 4 spearmen can do some work. I don't know if BacT's gonna have some time. because Nicov is raiding right now. First group of Cavalier getting cleaned up. Nice wall. Oh! Oh, that's ACCM's army. My bad. And BacT wants to clean up all these Arbalest. Paladins coming in for Nicov. You have a window here. Now is the time to clean up the Arbalest. And Paladin is done. Clean up the Arbalest right now. Do not let them escape into the castle. Try to get in front of them. Alright, so there goes the Arbalest. They're running back. We have another group of Paladins from the south side. Going to try to cut off these Arbalest. Arbalest are hitting and running, but they do, again, almost no damage versus Paladins. So far, the Paladins not really being able to get on top of the Arbalest because we have this meat shield with Nikov's Paladins. Here comes the Paladins. Are they going to be able to clean up the Arbalest? We have enough for BacT. BacT's currently at 130 villagers. His economy's alright. 157 for Nicov. So many Paladins for BacT. They are stronger than the Paladins of Nicov by 12 HP. The Arbalests are certainly stronger for ACCM. How is ACCM doing? Not too well, but is surviving. Those skirmishers certainly paying for themselves. Great addition to ACCM's army. Again, this game is still not over. Nice position on this castle in the north. Terrible position from ACCM's castle. But he can tread down this castle. Now more Paladins from Nicov. My problem for the Vietnamese team, my problem for them is map control. BacT's mining this very exposed gold. Nicov has had a good amount of this gold over here. We have this gold over here. And the Vietnamese team is going to have to get trade started early. How are they going to trade? Are they going to trade out of this north corner? Probably not. They have to trade out of the south. But there are Paladins here. So BacT may be running out of steam if he can't get enough gold. Currently has 700 in the bank, and there it goes. All of that went into Paladin production. Chivalry upgrade coming in. That'll neutralize the any advantage the Huns would have with their faster working stables. What's going on up here? So Trebuchet battle. Castle is on top of a hill. This castle is surprisingly still up. ACCM never made trebs from this castle. That's a big mistake. And MBL might have enough. A little bit of map control from BacT. Great castle position. It's going to help to protect the trade. So much raiding from Nicov. And who's going to win this fight? Feel like it's going to be BacT. This castle's still remaining. Want to take down the castles. Here comes some more Paladins into BacT's base. These 4 spearmen are definitely getting their money's worth in the Imperial Age. That's pretty funny. ACCM fighting for this castle. Looks like he was unable to take down that castle, but here we go. This is Ethiopian Siege. Siege Ram. That could be a game changer. But I think BacT is hurting on the resources. BacT needs the resources for more Siege Rams. That is the key for him. And more Arbalest. I think Arbalest will be a much better solution. The Nicov making Hussar, probably hurting for gold as well. Neither of the teams getting a ton of trade up at this stage. They should have more. They're spending everything. ACCM needs that gold. Look at how much gold is left on that mine. So many light cav coming into ACCM's base. This is looking really good for the AM team. They have the map control still. They're getting trade up much sooner. No trade out yet for the Vietnamese team. We definitely have more military. Look at MBL. 70 military from him. And AM is also raiding. So looking really good for the AM team. BacT getting light cav for on his own. I don't know how he's going to... Well, he doesn't get Husser, so I guess we don't have to worry about that. ACCM should definitely use this army in some way. Try to raid down here. Nice walling for Nicov, so that bottom side is safe. You can get up a few more walls here. That'll help to prevent the raiding. Husser's still doing a little bit of damage in ACCM's base. ACCM down to 80 population. 80 villagers, that's pretty critical. And unfortunately, ACCM upgrading the siege ram upgrade, but has not been able to use it. A lot of paladins in the area. Let's see if BacT can clean up these Arbalest. Just as I say that, Nicov is coming in with paladin of his own. And I think this is going to be a victory for the AM team. We have more pikemen coming in to help deal with the paladins. And yeah, that's going to be a victory for AM. I think they could just hang back for now. There's no siege for ACCM. Once a few more paladins come in the area, they'll be able to clean up the skirmisher mix. Surprisingly, this castle is still up. So moving down to the south. Let's take a look at the trade once again. I see no trade for BacT and ACCM, and look at the trade for Nicov and MBL. Gotten even stronger since the last time we checked it. So I think that BacT and ACCM are going to be running out of steam, as they don't have any more gold income coming in. ACCM having to rely on skirmishers. Skirmishers are going to get destroyed by paladins. BacT relying on light cav, which are going to get destroyed by almost everything. And I'm not sure BacT's going to be able to save this castle. Looks like he'd go for the trebs for now. And where's BacT going with his villagers? Is he killing them? Looks like it's unintentional. So BacT trying to save his castle, trying to take out the trebuchets. Gonna come at the loss of a lot of paladins, and still that trebuchet is up. Not looking good at all. Too many paladins coming from Nicov. What's the trade number now? 24 and 12. So we have a total of 36 trade versus 4 trade. 4 trade for BacT. And there's the GG. No trade for a Vietnamese team means a loss for the Vietnamese team. And just really great teamwork from BacT and MBL in that early Castle Age, hitting the gold of ACCM. Did a lot of raiding on poor ACCM. I would have liked to see more knights from BacT in the early Castle Age. I would have liked to see just better walls from ACCM to wall in his gold, make it much more secure. And that would have really shored up the weakest part of his map, and hopefully kept him in the game a little bit longer. But nice play from our AM team. Fairly close game, and a pretty good one. Get to see a little bit different civilizations in the Britons and Ethiopians, and I'm looking forward to game 2. I'll see you there.